Hey guys, so I just got this 12808 Optimus. They make a 12808 Radio Shack as well. It's basically the same radio. I've never actually seen the 808 Optimus, so I got this really cheap in the box from eBay, and took it out of the box already. This is what it looks like. I gotta get some batteries for it. It takes 4 AAs and I think 2 AAAs as well. It's an Optimus 12808, and I'm going to show you how to hack this to make a spare box. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you have 4 screws to take out. One here, one here, one here, and one here. And it should be one, there's one in here in the battery casing. Phillips screwdriver. Put a little pressure on it so you don't want to strip it. So put a little pressure on that first turn. What's cool in this one, it has world, it has AM, FM band, TV band, so it should be really interesting to use this one. So I'm excited to try this one out. But yeah, back to hacking here. So, this one left. Screws out. So you want to pull it apart like this. Make sure you don't pull the wires off the speaker, obviously. If you do, you can always solder them back together. So you can remove these 2 screws if you want to pull this up a little more, or you can zoom in here for you. So you want to find this ribbon, right here. Get a good shot of that. Here's a ribbon, and you want to count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you want to cut this wire. But you want to leave, when you cut the wire, you want to leave the bottom part, enough of the bottom part hanging out, so you can solder it, and then you can solder a wire to it. And when you solder the wire to it, you solder it from here to the negative. So you're going to solder the 4th bottom wire when you cut it to the negative. That's all you have to do. So we count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you have the radio facing you like this, you count 1 from left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 4th one you cut. So take a razor blade or anything you think will work. I like to make sure and count it a few times before I actually do the cutting. And I try not to get the board when I'm cutting. So you kind of want to be careful. You want to use a good blade. This one's kind of shit. This one's kind of old, so I shouldn't use it really, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I usually cut each side. Just a little bit on each side of the wire that's being cut. And then I pry it up on each side. Okay. This is kind of my first videos. I showed a REM pop. This is kind of my first one. But yeah, and then once you got 2 little holes on each side of the wire, I usually slide like a screwdriver or something sharp through there. Make sure you're only getting that 4th wire. You don't want to get any other ones. I mean, if you mess up, if you're good at soldering, you can solder it. So now I got the screwdriver through the wire. I take some clippers or whatever you want to cut it. I mean, you can probably even use scissors. So whatever you can use to cut the wire. Make sure it's separate. Okay, it's cut. So I pull it away from each other. Screwdriver fell out. Yeah, and so peel back this bottom one. Okay, you can see it. So what I do is I peel back the bottom one. See that? Let's see where it's right there. You can see it. Okay, peel back that one, the very bottom. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna kind of take some clippers, make sure you get that plastic off, and then lay a little solder on it, and then solder the wire and solder this together. So, all right. So I take this and I kind of gently. You could melt it probably with a soldering iron if you want, but I don't like getting plastic on my iron. I can even do it by your fingers. So be gentle, you don't want to pull it apart or anything. There we go. I mean, that came off real easy. Like I barely even pulled on it. And it pulled the wire back for me perfectly. Like I got enough there already. So I'm just gonna clip the plastic away. It doesn't really matter. So you get a nice little wire exposed. And I haven't soldered in a while. It's probably needs to be cleaned, but yeah, I need to clean that. It'll probably solder, but yeah, usually I clean this off before I start. So take a little solder, and you want to heat the wire yourself, and you want to bring the solder into the wire. Okay, so I got a little solder on there. So you heat the wire, bring the solder into the wire, so it lays a good solder on there, or solder, however you want to say it, and then you take your wire. Okay. Take your wire. You can see it or not. Yep. Okay. Take your wire, lay a little solder on that. A little shaky right now, I just got out of work. But yeah, lay solder on. People outside. So you lay solder on this, on each wire. Heat the wire up, usually it helps better. There you go. So you want to heat the wire up and bring the solder into the wire. Okay, so this is already laid some solder. This one's got some solder on it. So basically, you take, my eyes aren't the best right this second, but yeah, you solder these together, heat the wire up together, and it should be permanently on there. That ain't ever coming off. Okay? And then afterwards, I like to use electrical tape better than like hot glue on electrical stuff. Liquid electrical tape. Okay, so that's got solder on it. So you want to put a little solder on the negative here. You could do the negative on either one, really. You could do it here, you could do it here, but this is the closest one. So the white wire is the negative. There's already a little bit of solder on there, but I don't want it to come off, so on that wire. There's already a little bit on this. Just double check, make sure there is some on there, and there is. This wire might come off, but don't be scared. You can always fix it afterwards. So yeah, so I want it to stay up here inside when I close it. So let's solder this together, heat the wire. up. That should be it. This will be completely soldered together. That ain't going anywhere. So if you can see it, so what I did is I cut the 4th wire, 1, 2, 3, 4. Solder the 2 ends and solder it together. And then you solder this to the negative. So it'll continuously sweep. And I like to touch it up with a little bit of this electrical tape, which I haven't used in a long time. So you want to get a good amount on there. And you want to let it dry. You don't have to do this. I just do this for a little added security. You probably put electrical tape if you wanted. You could put just about anything on there. Yeah. So then, once that's dry, close it up. It's all closed. And you put all the screws back in. Okay, that's in. Everything's in. We'll try it out. So, FM. I like this. I never tried an 808. Like, this is bigger than most that I have. Let's see what it sounds like. I like that. It's got distance, vocal, AM, FM. Can you say John? So yeah, I love it. I love the sound of this one. In terms of local, and you get less channels. I'm really loving the sound. Let's try AM. There's no AM stations during the day usually, but yeah. So yeah, guys, if you can find one of these 12808s, Radio Shacks, or Optimus. I haven't actually seen an Optimus, which is cool. It's kind of rare, I'd say. But yeah, that's how you hack it. Very easy hack. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this helped some of you out. Not every radio is going to be the same. Every radio is going to be a little bit different. But yeah, thank you for watching.